7 p.m. and we'll end at 9 p.m., 2 hours straight. I want to welcome everybody. For those of you who don't recognize me, my name is Rick Blangiardi, and I have the privilege of being your mayor, the 15th mayor of the city and county of Honolulu. And behind me is most of our cabinet, whom you'll meet in a little bit. I want to thank you all, first of all, for showing up tonight. We've been looking forward to this particular town hall for some time. So there's a big crowd here tonight. I'll talk about ground rules, not that we have that many, but how we'd like to conduct the evening. But first, what I'd like to do is I want to bring up, we always start these meetings off with a pule, and I'll pick that up. I want to bring up Kumu Hula Kui Southern. Brian, I'll get that, that's okay. And Kui teaches hula at Kahuku in Waimea. She has 3 kids who attend Kahuku Elementary, and her husband, T.C. Southern, who also teaches at Kahuku Elementary. Kui, where are you? I just saw you a moment ago. There she is. Okay, here you go.
E pule kako. He ko mako I loko kalani. E ho ano ia ko inoa. He hiki mai ko aupuni. E mālama ia ko make maka honua nei. E like me ia I mālama ia makalani la. E haawi mai a mako I ke ia la. I aina mako no nei ia la. E kala mai hoi a mako I ka mako lawe hala ana. Me mako e kala nei I ka poe I lawe hala I ka mako. Mai hoʻokuʻu o ia mākou I ka hoʻowalewale ia mai. E hoʻopakele no na ia mākou I ka ino. No ka mea nou ke aupuni. A me ka mana, a me ka hoʻanani ia a maulo aku. Āmene.
Thank you, Kui. That was absolutely beautiful. Okay, I got a couple quick introductions. I see Councilmember Matt Wire in the room. Matt, good to have you here tonight. Thank you. I'm not sure if he's here. Is Senator Awa here? Brenton Awa? You here yet? If not, I think he's expected to arrive. Is there anybody else who's an elected official that's here that I don't see? I don't think so. Okay, Matt, again, welcome. One of the things that we did when we started out 4+ years ago, 4 years and 4 months ago to be exact, is we stood up a youth commission because we wanted to get our youth involved, and it's been a very successful program for us. And we have one member from our youth commission here tonight. He's sitting right in front of me, Dominic Bonifacio. Dominic? Thank you, Dominic. Okay, so I'm going to save the ground rules. We're going to introduce our cabinet first, and then we'll just talk about, we don't have really a lot of rules, just a couple of things on how we'd like to conduct this. But this is your meeting tonight, and we're here to listen and learn, at the same time share with you, first of all, try to answer your questions, and I'll get into that in a bit, but also share with you some of our thinking to make this as worthwhile. Clearly, if you took the time out to be here tonight, you living here, your life matters to you, matters to your community, and we want to be as resourceful and make tonight as impactful as we possibly can. Okay, so with that, I think we'll start out down here with Ian Santi. Go ahead.
Hello, good evening. My name is Ian Santi. I'm the Deputy Director of the Honolulu Emergency Services Department. We oversee the city's health services, our core program, and EMS 911 ambulances.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm Ted Hayden. I'm the Deputy Director for Parks and Recreation. And so we oversee all of the parks on Oahu, as well as the beach parks and right-of-ways, as well as our Department of Urban Forestry, which is all of our street trees. So thanks.
Aloha and good evening, everyone. My name is Kevin Auger. I'm the Director Designate of the Department of Housing and Land Management, and we manage all the city's land and housing functions. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Good evening, aloha. My name is Andy Kawano. I'm the Director of Budget and Fiscal Services. We oversee real property tax program, accounting, payroll, treasury, and a few other divisions for the city. Look forward to talking to all of you. Thank you.
Aloha, my name is Kurt Lager. I'm the director for the Honolulu Ocean Safety Department. We are the primary responders to all 227 miles of coastline and nearshore waters. Thank you.
Aloha, my name is Randy Collins. I'm the Director of Emergency Management, and tonight is my first day at work. So my department is charged with preparing Oahu for disasters. So preparedness and trying to mitigate those disasters, coordinating the response afterward, and recovering from those disasters. So it's a pleasure to be with you tonight, and I would also like to encourage you to go see Molly over here and sign up for H&L alerts, because one thing I can guarantee you is no matter how good at my job and my team is at mitigating disasters, it's not if, it's when. And we will have a disaster, and that's the way that we're going to be able to communicate life-saving information to you. So please take advantage of our new H&L alert and sign up, please. Thank you.
Aloha and good evening. I'm Kalani Hau, Fire Chief of the Honolulu Fire Department. Thank you for opening up your home to us. Aloha.
Aloha, everyone. My name is Andy Sugg, and I am the Mayor's Chief of Staff, and it's great to be here tonight. Thank you all for coming.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Krishna Jairam. I'm the Deputy Managing Director for the city. Thank you for having us here tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Mike Formby, Managing Director.
I'm gonna interrupt for a second, because these three guys you just met do all the heavy lifting. Chief of Staff Andy Sugg, Krishna, and Mike Formby. Mike Formby is Managing Director. All these men and women report to him, directly to him. That's how it works in the city. The only ones that report to me are the lawyers, and that's a lot of fun. But they really, I was actually gonna introduce them, and I forgot to do it myself, but I just want you to know they're key people also in answering any questions that you might have tonight. Okay, Haku.
Good evening. I'm Haku Millis. I'm the director for the Department of Design and Construction. We oversee the capital improvement projects for various agencies up here, like taking care of the roads, bridges, supporting on parks projects, enterprise services with golf courses and zoos, and the zoo. Thank you.
Evening. Brian McKee. I'm the director of the Department of Information Technology, and I'm the Chief Information Officer of the city. So I'm here to answer any questions you guys might have about technology or what we're thinking about putting in or what we've got working. So thanks.
Good evening and aloha. My name is Dita Hollyfield. It is great to see cowboy hats in this audience this evening. As Director of Enterprise Services, I oversee the Honolulu Zoo, the 6 municipal golf courses, all of the venues, including the Tom Moffett Waikiki Shell, the concessions, and of course, I also oversee the building services. It's an honor to be here this evening, and mahalo for having us.
Aloha, my name is Amy Oselby, and I am the Director of the City's Office of Economic Revitalization.
Good evening, my name is Roy Miyahira. I'm the Director of Homeless Solutions, charged with executing our strategies. Good evening.
Hello and good evening, Edward Los Banos, Deputy Director, Department of Community Services. We manage all the federal human services grants for the city and county of Honolulu, as well as the grants and aid program. Thank you for having us this evening.
Hi, good evening. My name is Michael Campbell. I am the captain for
District 4, which runs from Kahuku all the way down to Makapu'u. So I'm here to answer any questions that you may have, and the officers in the back can also assist you with any questions you may have.
Aloha, Keith Orca, Deputy Chief of Field Operations for HPD. Honored to be here and honored to serve the community. Thank you.
Aloha, good evening. Joe Logan, the Honolulu Police Chief. I have the honor and privilege of leading the 2,000 wonderful men and women of your Honolulu Police Department.
Kathleen Pahinui, representing the Board of Water Supply. Mahalo.
Aloha everyone, I'm Valea Constantino. I run the Honolulu Film Office, which is the office that takes care of the marketing and the facilitation for all of the film, television, and movie industry on the island.
Hauʻole lale o wau o ke aloha Fox no kunia mai iau o wau ke hope po'o no ke ena loliani au malama aina a me ke ola loa aloha no aloha mai aloha kako. I am Ke Aloha Fox from the Office of Climate Change, Sustainability, and Resiliency, the deputy there, and I hope that some of you will continue coming to our Climate Action Plan community workshops. And mahalo to everybody who is here tonight, who also was joining us on Tuesday evening. Your thoughts and your voices and your ideas are so welcome. My hiapo is in the back. He has sour punch for any of the keiki, and there's more flyers for you folks to join us at our upcoming workshops. Mahalo.
Aloha, Loi Yonenaka. I am the Executive Secretary for the Neighborhood Commission, and we oversee all of the neighborhood boards. Do we have any neighborhood board members here tonight? All right. Anybody else? Thank you for your service. Before I hand the microphone over, I just want everybody to recognize red, 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 red. Go Big Red.
Good evening and aloha. My name is Megan Johnson. I'm the Deputy Director for the Department of Customer Services. Our department oversees 3 divisions: the satellite city halls, the drivers, basically the DMV, and the city's public communications. Thank you so much for having us.
Aloha, my name is Ben Sullivan. I'm the Executive Director for the Mayor's Office of Climate Change, Sustainability, and Resiliency. We have the privilege of working across the city and across the community to help healthier, more prosperous, and more resilient communities around the island, so thank you.
Good evening, my name is Brian Gallagher. I'm the Deputy Director in the City's Department of Planning and Permitting. That's long-term range planning, zoning, building permits, reviews, inspections, land use, etc. Thank you.
Aloha, I'm Donna Huna from DPP. Thanks for having us.
Aloha, Jordana Ferrer, the Child Care Coordinator. We are working to make more affordable early learning opportunities for our keiki and their ohana. Thank you so much for letting us be here with you tonight.
Good evening. I'm Dan Brigg, Deputy Director of Department of Environmental Services, and we oversee city's wastewater collection system, pump station treatment plants, as well as refuse collection and refuse facilities. Thank you.
Aloha, my name is Kira Shushom. I'm the city's Chief Data Officer, and I'm actually here to work with everybody here to streamline how we manage data for the city and county of Honolulu. Thank you.
Aloha, Mike Kako. Good evening. John Nouchi, Deputy Director of the Department of Transportation Services. We oversee all public transit on the island, from the bus to the handy van to bike share to Skyline Rail. We also plan and engineer complete streets and operate parking and traffic signals on this island. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Bugs Baguio. I'm the Assistant Director of Human Resources. One of our primary jobs is to help everyone here fill the positions so we can serve all of you in the community. If any of you are interested in working for the city or your family members, see me, anybody up here, or we also have Tiana at our desk right there. Thank you.
Aloha, good evening. I am Warren Mamizuka. I am the Deputy Director for the Department of Facility Maintenance and a proud Kahuku graduate, class of 1989. Go Big Red.
Thank you, Warren. All right, I believe that Senator Awak has arrived. Brian, there he is. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. I also want to introduce briefly, because I didn't have the opportunity to microphone, our communications team led by Scott Humbert, our communications director for the city, Ryan Wilson, Deputy Communications Director Ian Shuring back there, and Brandy Heger running around tonight. So as I mentioned, we're on live television. We're going to start off tonight with something a little bit different, and then we'll get into tonight, and that is I'm holding a proclamation. And it's not just any proclamation. So what I'd like to do is just read. It only takes about a minute or so, because she's sitting right here in front of me. This proclamation goes on to say, whereas the City and County of Honolulu recognizes older adults as a vital part of our community, rich in knowledge and life experiences, and whereas their service, volunteerism, and contributions have far-reaching impact in all areas of our island community, as they enrich our daily lives and serve as inspirations to us all. And whereas the Elderly Affairs Division of the city's Department of Community Services is the designated area agency on aging for Oahu, committed to developing a comprehensive and coordinated system of services to assist our kapuna in leading independent, meaningful, and dignified lives in their areas and in their homes and communities for as long as possible. And whereas the City and County of Honolulu joins the nation in commemorating May as Older Americans Month, an annual observance led by the Administration for Community Living to recognize older adults and their contributions, highlight aging trends, and reaffirm our commitment to serving our kapuna. And whereas the 2025 Older Americans Month theme, Flip the Script on Aging, focuses on transferring how society perceives, discusses, and approaches aging, and encourages individuals and communities to challenge aging stereotypes and dispel misconceptions. And whereas, as part of the observance of the city's Elderly Affairs Division, we will honor tonight Dottie Kelly Paddock. Save it. You've earned it. Thank you. I've learned, I won't say the hard way, I've enjoyed every second of it, but I've learned what a force of nature this woman is. So we're honoring Dottie Kelly Paddock as the 2025 Outstanding Older American at its Retired and Senior Volunteer Program Volunteer Recognition event on May 23rd. That's coming up. Now, therefore, I, Rick Blangiardi, Mayor of the City and County of Honolulu, do hereby proclaim May 2025 to be Older Americans Month, and additionally proclaim May 23rd, 2025 to be Dottie Kelly Paddock Day, to offer my warmest aloha. To offer my warmest aloha and congratulations to her on receiving this prestigious honor, and extend deep appreciation for her dedicated service and enduring contributions to our community, and to encourage Honolulu residents to recognize the extraordinary achievements and value of our kapuna during this month and throughout the year. Dottie, we could not be any prouder of you. God bless you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
All I can say is I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you in this room and all the dedication you have brought to your community. I believe everybody here knows and loves and feels your community every day. You're part of the best part of this island and the best they've ever seen, because we are one. and we are great. And as I say many times during the week to people when things go bad, I say, "Mua ka'olaloa." Yes, okay. So thank you very much. I appreciate this. There is a huge team that holds me up, and they're all deserving of this award. And we appreciate them so. And if you ever want to come by and check us out, we're at the City Civic Center in Hauʻula, the Satellite City Hall, everyone knows that, and our nonprofit there is Hui o Hauʻula, and we have 7 food programs and lots of other. There goes the mic. Thank you very much. Come see us.
Thank you, Dottie. I don't know if you heard him say, "Hey, you are the bomb." Great. It's always nice to see somebody be recognized who really truly deserves it, and that's very apropos for Dottie. Okay, great turnout. First of all, let me acknowledge all of you for being here tonight. And this is a great turnout with our team here tonight, too. We want to make this, as I said a few moments ago, as meaningful and dynamic as possible. And clearly you love this community, as I said. So in that spirit, this is how we like to operate. This is our 26th town hall. We've done 11 the last 2 years. It's our 4th this year. We love coming out here because we also learn a lot, as well as we have the opportunity to share with you. So the way it works is you can come up here to the microphone and you can ask us anything you want. We're not filtering questions, anything you want. The trade-off or the quid pro quo is you may not like the answer, but we're not here to pander to you. We're here to be as truthful as possible, okay? So that said, I know that some of the issues that compel you to be here tonight are pretty emotional. And so what we'd ask you to do, knowing full well how you feel about these things, is just simply be civil. We ask for civil cooperation, and we will certainly be civil back to you. The other thing I would like to say is I don't want a long line here. We're going to try to get to as many questions as possible, one person at a time. We're going to work the next 2 hours as hard as we can. And in that regard, the reason why we bring the whole group is behind me is an incredible wealth of knowledge in all the various areas of the city. These people can not only hopefully answer any question you might have, but if for some reason we can't answer it tonight, it becomes a direct point of contact for you, and they will follow up with you because you mean the people, the men and women who really run the city and county of Honolulu. So that's the exchange, okay? We want to be able to answer as many questions. So the ground rule is we're not going to beat a topic to death, okay? We'll cover a topic, and once we've covered that topic, we're going to move on. And the other request that I have is no speeches up here. Now, I don't want to be rude to anybody. I really don't. But you have to come up here, set the context briefly, and ask the questions so we can get through as much as possible. Everybody up here has had a long day. Very few live near here. We came out here to serve you and to answer as many questions as we possibly can. And if we monopolize a topic or somebody wants to monopolize a telephone, we won't be able to get that done, at least to our satisfaction. And we're really here to serve you and to learn from you. Okay? Fair? Any other questions? Anything on that? pretty simple. You just can't wait to get up here. Here you go, sir.
Aloha.
Aloha.
My name is Mike Patakin, and in conjunction with this celebration of Dottie and her age, we are in the same bracket, and our team here, we represent the Hauʻula Tax Reform Reduction Group, and I have been asked to be their spokesman. We have 4 members right now, but I think we might get more. Cy Bridges, he and his wife, Virginia Alatasi, and Rodney and Renee Fonomoana, and myself, Mike Patakin.
So, Mike, I see you have a speech there. No speeches. You're going to ask a question.
All right. I'm going to cut it, okay? So that's what we represent. We were fortunate last year because I did a presentation in Wailua, and the mayor asked me to give the paperwork that I had to Andy here, and he went over it, and guess what? We got a reduction in our taxes and property taxes. We're talking about property taxes. So I had a long, well, not a long, but a fairly decent explanation of why we're doing this. So I'm going to get to the question. Mayor, will you honor us in allowing us, whoever in our group, to sit down face to face with you or with Andy and with the city, Matt, and with the representatives, the legislator, sit down and discuss a very important concern of our kupuna. The property taxes keep going up and up and up. The cost of living keeps going up and up and up, but their income does not increase. Or sometimes, well, somebody just lost their job, so their income will go down. But there has not been any changes except for the rising property taxes.
Well, we
haven't
raised property taxes. Taxes have gone up because assessed values have gone up. But I'll tell you what, Mike, I promise you we can have that meeting. It'll have to be at Honolulu Hale. You have to come in so we have the right people there, have our tax people there.
I do want to
Andy,
talk
you
with
okay
everybody.
with that? Okay, Mike, good deal. Hey, and we heard you last year. Look, I'm older than both of you, so I have a real sensitivity about kupuna and taxes in a very profound way, okay?
And that's why you're our mayor.
Okay, man. All right. Thank you, Mike. Okay.
Aloha mai no kākou. I think one of my questions is, what happened to the swimming pool that we're supposed to be getting here at Kahuku? It's been, what, almost 2 years, and we're still waiting for the swimming pool. We have one of the best, you know, they try their best, and they do accomplish a lot. So my question to you is, what happened to the swimming pool for our children of our Kahuku High School?
It's a great question. Go ahead, Ted.
Okay, well, good news. The pool is still coming. It's on track. We are continuing the progress. So right now, they're actually out doing all the studies. There's a lot of studies that need to be done. So those are all being done, but all the studies should be completed probably around the end of May. And so we are looking to have another community meeting within the next couple of months for our consultants to come out and, again, show everybody the drawings that the community came up with. We've already had 2 community meetings. And so they'll bring out the drawings again, let everybody see them, make comment, and then they'll go back with now having that information from the studies to then kind of work on the final drawings. And so that's kind of where we're at. So it's still right on track.
And G70 is on track. We've spent about $1.5 million so far, close to that? Or is it more than that?
Yeah, we will.
On the drawings, well, we
just
will.
on the design.
Yeah, and we're doing more than just the pool, is that right?
Yes, so we're doing more than the pool. So we're also, in our last meeting, the community had to kind of pick between either a smaller rec building or the other one that kind of came up just out of the community was actually covering the basketball courts. So we're going to be looking at designing and building a structure, like a structured covering around the basketball courts with incorporated lighting. And so that'll be open on the sides, so it won't need to be opened up by staff. It'll be able to just come in and use it.
But
it takes a while, unfortunately.
well, let me be a little bit more specific. We have to the day 3 years and 8 months left in this office, okay? I'm determined to push that clock as hard as possible. It may take a couple more years before we actually get there. And I'm just going to be honest with you, we're going to be up there and be in front. One of the sayings that I learned early on being mayor, I learned it from Mike Bloomberg in New York, former mayor of New York. He simply said, you know, Rick, in this job, the days are long, the years are short. And that proved to be very prophetic. And it's really amazing what you have to go through. But this is not a small undertaking, and we want to do it right. It's a one-time only. It's more comprehensive than we initially intended. We've hired the best design firm, and we want to do it right for future generations. And I'm determined. I don't think I'm going to be able to jump in the pool during my term, but we're going to start building that. Okay, I hope so, because my days are getting short too. Okay, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Blangiardi. I'm glad
Good
you're
evening.
here. If the guys here for me could stand up, I want to show the importance of agriculture in Hawaii. I appreciate every one of you. I know I got ranchers here, I got farmers here, I got tons of people that have a lot going on that don't have time to be here.
Okay. What's your name?
My name's Keel Ponte with North Shore Livestock.
Okay, I just want to make sure everybody hears it on TV, Keel.
Yes, sir. It doesn't really matter who I am. It matters what we do. We run the largest full finished beef operation on Oahu. We're doing over 100,000 pounds of beef a year, kept here sustainably and as cheap as I can afford it. I run 2 other jobs so I can make sure that I do this. And so people can afford to choose between buying a steak from Costco or buying a locally raised, sustainably healthy beef at the same price. You have to choose between prices. You don't need to buy a $11 pound
Right.
ground beef. The problem we're having with the new bill that the city council passed, the only way that this is possible is with a mutually beneficial agreement like I have with First Wind Power. That's not Napua Makani. That's not these turbines over here. It's the wind turbines outside by Marconi Road. The closest wind turbine to this school is over 1.3 miles. So the new law that you guys passed, that the city council passed, is going to make that turbine project not be able to renew their PPA. If they cannot renew their PPA, they're going to have to sell the land. And we know what happens to land here when it gets sold, ag land. It unfortunately gets bought by a really wealthy land developer like Woodbury Group or Blackstone. I'm doing the thing, like I'm keeping country. All these people came out here for me because they love what I do. And I just want to know, what can I do to help you fix this problem so I can keep beef on Oahu? 90% of our beef is shipped to the mainland. All I want to do is feed people. And so I need to know from you what I can do to help you fix this so we can keep doing what we do.
Well, I don't think we're going to be able to fix it here tonight, okay? You understand? You understand? But, so Keel and I have had telephone conversations, and I respect him a great deal for what he's doing. And I understand the value of having local beef here, and 100,000 pounds a year is not incidental, and it feeds a lot of people. Mike addressed it. We're going to have to work on this because, like you said, something's already been passed by city council, but I've promised you an open door on this.
I just wanted to show the amount of support I do have. That was my main goal.
Yeah.
And we do thank all of you for coming out and showing your support. So Mayor and I did have a conversation with you about this issue. I think the good news is that we have some time to work on a resolution, because we do need to work with City Council on that.
Yes,
and so I actually have your name and your number on my desk on a Post-it. The mayor gave me your number, and we're committed to work with you. Matt Wire is here. We can start with him, but we'll work through the City Council. We'll see if we can solve this, because we understand what you're doing for the community. We thank you for that.
I will say, I know you guys are working fast. We have 600 head of cattle, and I can't gear down quick. So if I think this isn't going to go through, I got to start shipping calves to the mainland and start humanely.
No, you've made that clear to us. We know that. I feel like the clock is ticking. Don't get me wrong. I think there's a sense of urgency to this, Keel. All right, man. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. You know, that's right on the money. You know, we all know about the fact that, food security and sustainability are really important. And so a situation like this especially resonates with us. And so, you know, I think this is where the cooler heads and smart people will prevail here in coming up with the most logical and best solution. We certainly don't want to see what you've got going on go away. If anything, we'd like to promote it and see it get even more so. Okay? Sir, you're up.
Thank you. My name is Elgin Onaga, and I'm just a regular old guy that has a good idea that the youth is our future. If you teach a kid how to fish, he's going to catch more fish than you. He's going to catch bigger fish than you, and he's going to figure out new ways to catch fish.
Elgin, you want to talk into the microphone because we're on TV. Okay.
So, why don't we teach the kids how to farm? You give them a greenhouse, they plant 300 tomato plants, make $20 a plant. How much is that? 3 months. Okay, you get 1,000 kids doing that. We take back and use the land that is being mismanaged with all this empty land and fire hazards growing all over the place. If you mow it all down and let the kids put up greenhouses, you never have to mow it down anymore. They'll keep it all nice and clean.
So, Elgin, who builds the greenhouses?
We will build the greenhouses if the city gives us the land to put the kids on. And if they do it for 2 years, in the second year they get 3 more greenhouses, they make $100 grand a year. 1,000 kids making $100 grand a year is $100 million a year. Kids can do it if we show them how.
Thank you, Elgin. So I told Elgin that I'm going to raise this with Keith Hayashi at the Department of Education, because honestly, if you've ever dealt with the DOE, getting something into a curriculum is just not that simple. I've been involved with that in the past. I've had success, I've had failure, not as mayor, in my other life. So what I promise you, I'll take it up directly with Keith, and I'm going to send them right to you, Elgin. You're welcome. Okay, you're welcome. Yes, ma'am.
Aloha.
Aloha. What's your name?
My name is Dildreen Nohealani Bernadette Heron, and I'm a 9th generation farmer from Honolulu. My cousins are all here, related to a lot of people down here, but I live at Kahuku Elderly now. I don't know how many of you have heard of Resolution 303-116. This is the supplemental for Turtle Bay Resort application for Kuilima Resort 7/02/2003. At that time, I was fishing down at Turtle Bay, and they came to arrest me because I refused to leave my fishing spot that I have fished there for generations. So I told the manager there, please arrest me. I challenged Pash. I challenged Judge Klein. They did an article in a newspaper and totally embarrassed his ass because I refused to give up my fishing rights. Thank you, President Trump, for reopening Papahanaumoku Akea, because I was fishing up there. I had my own sampan, and we fished from Kauai, Port Allen. Thank you for reopening that, because it was Mr. Ed Case who closed it.
So,
Ariyoshi, Cayetano, Abercrombie, and we all sat in the same chair and said, do not close that to Native Hawaiians. They still closed it. But the military was exempt. So they were doing the same thing up there they did to Koho'olave. And now that they're all through with their bombings, now they're giving it back to us. Let that be a lesson. Hawaiians are still here. This resolution was written by Mr. Donovan Dela Cruz when he was on the city council. And we showed up 200 strong from Kahuku. This is the resolution.
so what is the question so we can answer it?
If anybody in this group has ever heard of Resolution 03-116 to keep the fishing at Kuilima open?
Okay. We have not heard of that. As I said at the outset, we're going to talk to you tonight. We're going to find out about it. We're going to have conversations with you about it.
Thank you, and I'll give you copies.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Sir?
I think my question's to you, ma'am. You did child development, something? Okay, so I'm kind of clueless to what's in the works. My wife and I have a kid and another one on the way, and we struggle pretty hard to find childcare. We both work full-time jobs, and we're just barely scraping by paying nannies or daycares. Could you tell me if there's anything in the works for maybe on the North Shore, or just what is in the works? Thank you.
Yeah, so I can definitely touch base with you afterwards. There are some options out on this side of the island, so I need to get a little bit more information about like the age of your kid, whatnot. There's also some financial assistance programs that I can connect you with, so I'll be sure to get your contact information and relay some of that information over to you.
You know, the reason why Jordana has her job, which we instituted, is precisely for what you just said. And we learned, I think, during COVID, all of us, how much families were impacted because one or the other had to stay home with the kids and the lack of early childhood education. I really like the work that Sylvia Luke has done, the initiatives that we're doing on early childhood education as well. Still not enough. Less than half of the kids get the privilege of going there, and it means so much to young families, especially hard-working families. So I promise you that Jordana will follow up, and if there's a solution or something we could offer you, it's fine. One of the things that we've incorporated in granting permits for any new construction that we're doing is that with affordable housing, is that a preschool is going to be on location as well. But I don't know if we can get them done fast enough or whatever, but there are always solutions to every problem. Okay? Thank you. Jordana will follow up with you, I promise. Go on, man.
Aloha, my name is Jessica Dos Santos. I was born and raised here in Kahuku. Mayor Blangiardi, in 2022, the DPP issued a determination that waived the need for a new SEIS and revised SMA permit for Turtle Bay development. That would significantly impact our coastline and community. Given the accelerated effects of climate change and sea level rise, most experts agree that environmental reviews older than 5 years, like the 2013 Turtle Bay SEIS, should be considered inadequate. Since 2013, much has changed. 13 endangered, threatened, or protected species are documented in that area, including the yellow-faced bees, which were federally listed as endangered in 2018. 3 homes on the North Shore have already been lost to sea level rise. And the state of Hawaii's 2019 statewide coastal highway program reports identifies 5 of the top 20 most critical roadways statewide between Hauʻula and Kualoa, directly in this region. The city's resilience office has recommended managed retreat for vulnerable coast areas like this. Given all of this, what will it take for your administration to hear our voice and require an updated environmental review and SMA permit in alignment with these valid concerns and current crises?
All right, so we anticipated this question. We know, thank you. And we know it's a very sensitive matter. So I'm going to ask Dawn Takeuchi-Apuna, who's our director right now, to articulate on DPP, and then I'm going to give you my voice on this as well from the standpoint of the ruling that was made and why. So Dawn?
So I appreciate the question, and I know the answer I have is not going to satisfy a lot of people. It was a decision made in 2022, and there's been a long history. I know you all are aware of different ownership, but I think what happened was when we reviewed it, it's a process, and the proposal that is currently before, or was before us at that time, it was a downsizing of impacts than the original proposal. So the outcome of that review was that an SEIS was not required. So that's where we're at. I know it's not what you want
Well,
to
we said at the
hear.
outset tonight that you'll hear something you don't want to hear, and we anticipated that. The fact is that decision was made. Arte bought 60 acres out of 750, and they plan to develop on 2 parcels, 100 homes on one, 250 other, for a total of 350 homes, of what was at one time projected to be on 1,300 acres, an incredible, expansive development. All of that has been cut way, way back. Lots of land has been given over for conservation as well. And this is private property, and everything is going to be subject to our Department of Planning and Permitting. But the reality is that they did everything according to the law, and we're upholding that. We're upholding the decision that was made by then, the Department of Planning and Permitting. And all I can tell you is that I believe it will be a quality project. I've looked at the heights and the requirements and everything else, and the shoreline setbacks and everything else that will be adhered to. So it's going to go down that way. And you know, I don't know exactly the amount of acres that they gave back, but I know it was in the hundreds back to conservation. There's been a big compromise that's gone on. So Host owns 95% of the existing land. Arte bought 60 acres to develop the first 2. All shoreline management will be upheld. They've done a really incredible job of establishing with us their sensitivity just as much as you might be. So we're going to stand behind that decision. And I know that's not the most popular decision, but we're going to stand behind it. Thank you, Don.
I second that persuasion. I'd like to know, where is the document in the SMA or in the application that says there is no significant impact in this new project based on the environmental information that they should have been reviewing to come up with this decision? Because I feel like our due process of law is being subverted by better minds that can think it out. And I think that by not giving us an opportunity to express our community's concern for the impacts that you're putting our residents in, this beautiful, wonderful project that we don't want and that it's hurting our community, I would really like to know, where is that document? Thank you.
So I just want to share a little bit about our thought process that we've gone through since really 2021, but 2022, when Director Dean Uchida made the decision that he made, which we supported. And that is, in government, we look for a balance. We try to find a balance. We try not to have a situation where there are the haves and the have-nots. We try to balance. And I can tell you that there's almost no development on this island in every community that is not opposed by one or more groups. It's just the way it is in government these days. So what we've done is try to work with the company, now Arate, to make sure that they work with the community groups, that they go to neighborhood boards, that they have culturally sensitive practices, that they have monitors for endangered species, that they set their development back from the shoreline beyond the shoreline management requirement, that they build affordable housing, which they've committed to us to do, not on-site, but off-site. We asked them to do everything that was feasibly possible to respect the community, the environment, and the culture. And we believe they're doing that, and I know you disagree with that. We get that. But we do not believe that it is our position to shut that project down. And I think I've been in government since 2013, and I've rarely seen a development or a developer that is doing as much to be sensitive to the community as this developer is doing. And by the way, you asked the question about a child care facility. They are building a child care facility. So there are a lot of things that this project is doing for the community, and no matter what I say tonight, we will not agree. I get that. I understand you're asking for a document, but I can't produce that document to you tonight.
There isn't one,
If
right?
you, I'll talk to you about it outside this meeting.
I want to know in front of everybody who else wants to know this. I am not here alone, speaking just for myself.
I know you're not alone.
But due process of law is something that we need to hold on to, and you guys don't think it matters, apparently.
That's really not true.
Yeah, that's not true. We are following a process.
Tell me where the document is.
But what it is you don't respect the process that we're following. I get that, and I admit that. But I'd be happy to talk to you offline. I'll give you my card. I'll ask you to call me, and if I can find the document you're looking for, I'll produce it to you. I'll be happy to do that.
I can assure you there is a document, okay? I can assure you this has been worked on legally. So as I said at the outset, one topic. We'll let two people come up here, and I'm fine. We want to make sure I understand the emotions in this room. We anticipated that. So, sir, if you want to talk about the same topic, I think we've covered it. Mike will follow up with her, produce whatever. I'm sorry I missed your first name. I didn't get your name, so I'm saying her, but Evelyn, okay? All right, sir? Did you want a different topic? All right, thank you. Come on up.
Hello, AFI. My name is Ernie Foster. I'm a elderly citizen at the elderly community here. This is a question to the Department of Planning and Permit Department. Back in 2010, Judge Okoba had indicated there was a need for environmental impact statements to be carried out with no perpetuity stipulated as to what was going on before that particular time. Yet right now, what is going on, there's been so much disregards to not only the environment, but also the fact of the planning that's been going on out of Turtle Bay, which the Arete collection developers are the ones that's got the permit now, and yet they're not following even the proper procedures of where the allotment from the ocean to the clearance of what's supposed to be done for when they first build their first structures that's out there, which is supposed to be 300 feet away from the ocean. Yet these developers are way inside of that particular dimension. Yet the Department of Planning and Permit Department was the one that allowed them to go ahead and develop the way they want to develop it right now. And that's what's going on, is why there's been a great amount of disconcern about the government and what they're not supposed to be doing. Because it seems like the Department of Planning and Planning Permit Department is really breaking the laws, which Judge Okopa had pointed out back in 2010.
All right, thank you. Thank you, appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to tell you, I think we've exhausted this topic. I can tell you with great certainty we've not broken the law. I want to echo what Michael said with respect to this particular developer and what they're doing, and they're adhering to all of it. And we really want to answer as many different questions as we possibly can. We will follow up with you, Evelyn, and we will be able to substantiate our position. We want to be full disclosure. But let me say one thing, okay, because I'm proud of this team. It's an extraordinary team. I know these people well. I'll tell you right now, as a matter of integrity, we haven't done anything to break the law on anything. And we hold a high standard for people, especially in the Department of Planning and Permitting, which we've come light years in improving to get things passed. And we're very, very environmentally sensitive. I can promise you that. Even though you may not think that, and I'm sorry that's your belief, but I can assure you, as it goes, as the law is enforced, if you will, we play by the rules. Go ahead.
Aloha, my name is Wila Vendiola, lifetime member of this community. I do want to say I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. On this topic related, I want to talk about housing. So I serve on the Kui Lima North Shore Strategic Planning Committee, who's working with various community groups as well as Arete and Host. I do want to say that while there are differing opinions in the room, that we support the decision that you made with regard to the SMA and SEIS. We have spent numerous meeting out of concern from our community with Arete, with host representatives, and like you, we agree that we can see with our own eyes what they're doing to help follow all of the laws required of them. So again, back to housing, what I'm interested in is in working with developers or other community members who want to bring more housing into this community, who is it that we can work with, or should we work with at the city to be able to bring more housing into this community? This is a high need. We have people that are wanting to work with us, but there's a lot of obstacles in the way. So who can help us with finding solutions to housing?
Thank you very much for the question and for the comments. I'm Kevin Auger. I'm the Director Designate of the Department of Housing and Land Management, which was established today. Today is the first day of this new department. After 30 years of not having centralized housing functions in the city, the mayor recognized that when he took office, when he discovered to his incredulity that there was one person in the mayor's office of housing that was managing both housing functions and homelessness functions. So we've attempted to change that. We've been working on establishing and standing up this new department for almost the last 2 years. The mayor made the announcement in 2023. It's effective today. We'll be working aggressively. We've issued recently a number of requests for qualifications to development partners to build housing on city land. We're pursuing that aggressively. We're looking for new ways to finance housing so we can build more, and we can't do enough faster. I'll just leave you with that. I'm happy to give you my card. I would love to speak with you about what we can do up here. We see a lot of signs in the room that say, keep the country country. We have a new rail system that we've just spent billions of dollars on. It will be open and running by 2031 through downtown. We have transit-oriented development districts around each of the rail stations along the rail line, and we have a new primary urban center plan that will really be driving development for housing along the rail. The two largest household income expenses for residents of Oahu are housing and transportation, and if we can reduce those costs for both by building more housing along the rail corridor, we're going to save folks a lot of money, and we'll be able to keep the country country and keep the city city. But I'm happy to talk to you, and I look forward to that conversation.
Thank you. And tell me the name of the new organization or agency.
Yeah, I'm proud to announce that it's the Department of Housing and Land Management.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we were, you can come on up. We were intent on creating a capability for the city. What Kevin said, and I don't look backwards, I only look forward, and the clock is ticking as it is. But to come into office knowing full well that the city and county of Honolulu, the entire island, had been plagued with a housing crisis and a homeless crisis for decades, and to find one person in charge of both, with an administrative assistant, where the city had not been in the private activity bond business for 23 years, had lapsed nearly $50 million in affordable housing funds, and had absolutely no capability of creating housing, especially affordable housing, for the people who live here. I said this earlier today. I don't know the first time I learned the word out-migration, but I think it was in office. And now it's become part of my daily vocabulary. We understand people leaving because they can no longer make the math work. We understand how painful that is for families, how disruptive it's been. The numbers are pretty staggering. We can't build it fast enough, but I can tell you we're at a turning point right now. And while it may take us a little bit longer to actually build the pool, we're on track of making a commitment to build 18,000 units before we leave. And more than anything, we change the trajectory of the city for the future, because the department that Kevin's building and the capability is something that we will hand off to the next administration. We've already awarded, city wasn't in the private activity bond business for 23 years. In the last 3 years, over $670 million. We gave out all of that money in affordable housing fund to various developers. We're incentivizing private developers to do, I go on and on. So we're very interested in providing housing where people want to live. At the same time, that challenge of keeping the country country and where could we build out here and what could you do, we'll take it on. It's one of the things we're planning on, we're addressing, and this team is doing a great job on homelessness as well. And for that matter, DPP. We are light years from where DPP was, and that was a big barrier to entry for everybody, whether it was a bathroom remodel or you wanted to build something new. So, I would tell you, just look at the track record, look at what we're doing, and I think you would feel really good about the future of it. Okay, who's up?
Aloha. Thank you for your work with housing. My name's Jojo Chang. I've been a teacher for over 25 years. My husband is also a teacher. And like many people in this room, we have a really hard time every month. It gets a little harder to pay our bills. So I've heard that there is a resident hosting bill that has been written, and this would allow homeowners to actually vacation rent legally a part of their home, whether it's an extra bedroom, whether it's a studio that they have, and this would help people to stay here. My question is, the resident hosting bill, when will it be presented to City Council? And if it passes, will there be a raise in taxes for homeowners that choose to vacation rent a part of their home?
I want to answer that too, Jojo, but Mike? Yeah. Okay. So a little bit of history here, okay? We come into office in the middle of the pandemic, 2021. In 2019, the year before COVID hit, the city, the state actually had 10.6 million visitors that year, did about $18 billion in revenue, $2 billion in sales tax revenue. And if COVID had not hit in 2020, it was projected we'd have the first time in history we went over 11 million tourists. Of the 10.6 million that came in 2019, 3 million stayed in illegal short-term vacation rentals, okay? Put a lot of pressure on the INA and all of our resources. If you talk to the hotel operators in the state, they will tell you that the sweet spot statewide, there's been a few hotel rooms built, with a high occupancy level, 12 months a year, like say 95%, would be about 8,000 visitors. That's our capability. So anything above and beyond that starts to put a lot of demand and a lot of pressure on resources, not to mention, at the very least, not paying taxes and what goes on. So we come in, we say we need to do something about that. First of all, it's taken a lot of housing off the market. So let me just give you, and I can verify all this because there was a group to try to challenge us on it, but let me give you a perspective of what's out there. On any given night, and this is, we passed the law, we got Bill 41 done, but then we began to see what I'm about to share with you. Because our intention was, this is not good for our islands. You know, it used to be, you want to talk about keeping the country, used to be, you know, maybe you got a tip from a bellman in Waikiki about some great unique beach. That's not the case. These people come over today, social media, everything is discovered, and you've all had to live with that. And we want to curb that. But more than anything, we wanted to get some short-term housing back in the long-term housing market. So it's estimated on the island of Oahu, there are 25,000 illegal short-term vacation rentals. This is Oahu, okay? Of that, 52% are owned by people off-island. Of that, 27% own 20 or more. 20 or more. These are not, you know, you and your husband. These are other people that we want to stop that business, okay? That equates to, on any given night, that is the equivalent of 28 400-room hotels. And any given night, between 11 and 12,000 room nights are available for rent. We wanted to attack that because it eroded, you know, our communities. You know, in many cases, neighborhoods, it was all over the place. It wasn't just, and we know where they are. We have mapping software. We know, and there's a lot on this side of the island. In fact, I saw signs driving out here, right out there on the road. So what we're really trying to attack is that. And I've said all along, once we realize people like you and your husband, working hard, a couple of teachers, got a back room, you want to do a better, that experience is a good one. We think it's good for visitors, but it's in the minority. And so we want to address it with a different bill. But we have to stem this because it's not good for this place. It's too much pressure, too much demand, and we don't have that capability on our infrastructure. So it's just not, wasn't good business. And we started out one way. We've learned some things. This resolution will probably help with that if we can get this to fruition. I'll let Mike speak about it. But this is bad business that went unchecked for a long, long time, And the airlines just kept flying people in here and they didn't care. So, you know, I'm not saying that to disparage the airlines, that was their business, but people coming in here and not really contributing to this place. In fact, packing up with backpacks and food they bought on the mainland and coming over and having party houses for 4 nights and flying back. So Mike, I don't know what you want to add to that.
So we heard last year at the town hall, and we've heard at these town halls, that there are residents that really need to be able to rent out homes in their houses to survive, and we understand that. And the bill that was passed was intended to get rid of the people that were taking abuse of the environment. And so just this week, I got the bill that was drafted, sent to me by OSTRA, and they told me that it had been submitted to council. We just got our copy, and the mayor and I are reviewing it now, and we'll be meeting with Dawn and Brian and DPP. But to my comment earlier about trying to strike a balance versus it being have and have not, we're going to try to strike a balance and try to come up with a bill that makes sense for locals that are in need of the capacity to generate some income to remain in the island. So we're looking at that, and I appreciate OSTRA sending me that bill, but it is about balancing needs.
And it's going to be a bit of a battle because I disagree with OSTRA because they completely downplay our numbers. So I'm just going to, they're probably watching, they're going to hear this, but we're ready for that fight because I want to document it because you don't put 3 million people in without having the kind of room space that we just talked about tonight. And so we want to get it down so it works for everybody. Okay, I'm going to say it again. More than half of them are owned from people off island who could care less, and more than a quarter of them own 20 or more. That's not a good business.
Just, my husband always says, why? Why do we let all the people outside buy Hawaii?
Because it's just gone on for a long time, and we're trying to catch. You know, I have to tell you, I just finished 4 years and 4 months, the fastest in my life. In this job, it's unbelievable. Well, we just got done talking about what we took to stand up housing or this, the stuff that's gone on, and we're trying to correct as much of that as possible. Okay, so it just happened over a long period of time. Nobody was checking it. Nobody. Okay.
Yeah, I
Thank
get
you.
it. I think you did get it under control a bit. So
We want to get it. We want to
is-
really get it under control.
Yeah.
It's actually a small minority in the aggregate that wants to do the bed and breakfast, that is interested in doing that, and we want to be supportive of that. Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Aloha, Mayor, and
Aloha.
his team. My name is Penny Toilolo. I am a representative of what is called the Kahuku Movement for Change. It's an organization that consists of teachers, students, parents, community members, alumni of Kahuku High School, who are deeply concerned about the conditions here at the Kahuku High School, and especially for our kids. Under the current leadership, there are a lot of things that have been ignored, and I think your team can help us in these areas, starting with one, our facilities. And I know Uncle is a Red Raider for life, so hopefully he can help and join in the forces to help get our facilities up for our kids. Students are forced to use bathrooms that are so unsanitary. My kid waits till he gets home to use the bathroom. They're locked, they're out of order, and there's no soap in the dispensers. Complaints have been made online through the website, the DOE website, and it still hasn't been solved. And I know facilities is a big part of our campus here. What immediate action can your team help us with our facilities? There are water stations on campus. The filters are red. They've been red for a long time. There's a lot of water fountains that are not of use. The bathrooms are locked. I'm not sure why, maybe because they're broken out of order. So the ratio of bathrooms to students here on campus does not meet the standards. So that's one thing. And then the second thing.
Well, Penny, have you gone to the Department of Education on this?
Yes.
And what have they said?
They actually sent, so when you fill out a online, you file a complaint on there, they send you a tracking number, and their response was, the facilities they checked on is an 8 out of 10. Wow. And my students have sent pictures, and you can just walk into, I don't even know if someone from the DOE has come here physically to look at it. And, these concerns have come up, and we haven't been getting any answers from we feel like we're being ignored by the current leadership. So we're reaching out to you and your team to see if you guys can help our kids. Number 2, campus security is it's hard for our kids to feel safe on campus. We don't have a lot of campus security. There's fights. Fights is a norm here on campus. Security officers don't feel there's a low morale on our campus created by our staff, our leadership. There's a hostile environment. Teachers and students are being bullied on campus to the point where they have to go seek mental health resources. So I know that that's your area, if you guys can help provide some mental health resources, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of students, and we've talked to a lot of them, students and teachers that are being bullied, harassed by current leadership. Mayor, I know this is not directly your jurisdiction, but I know with your help in advocating for our kids, they can feel more safe here on campus and be on a campus that has facilities that meet the standards.
Well, you know, even though Warren is the lifelong Red Raider here, you've come up in the Kahuku football, I've long been aware, way before I ever became mayor, of the incredible pride of this community, especially as it relates to this high school and its facilities and whatever. Mike just came up and whispered to me, we just heard from Keith Ayashi, and I told Elgin earlier about the greenhouses. I would call Keith because I know him, and asking us to help them with some permits. It's a perfect opportunity for us to collaborate with them, and I promise you, in fact, we'll get your contact info. I'm going to talk to him about this because what you described isn't right, number one. I'm not talking about the bullying. I'm talking, and being told it's an 8 out of a 10, come on. I mean, that's not right, right? And I don't know who said that or what, but we have some leverage here. And one of the things we'd like to be able to do, I just wish I could get the pool built faster, but be able to help and do things like this, it's very gratifying for us. So I promise that. On the other thing, that's a really pretty serious issue. We could talk to them about what the DOE is going to do. I just hate the thought of thinking teachers, it's already a tough job. People already sacrifice a lot to be a teacher, that they're going to go to school in this day and age and get bullied by kids. That's wrong. That's wrong.
There's also access points on campus. I know just recently they put an administrator there where the kids leave, exit, and enter. Anybody can exit and enter through that access point, and only just recently, because we've been bringing awareness to everyone, now there's an administrator, but it's been open for over a year. Thank you.
Thank you, Penny. I want your contact information. We'll follow up. Okay, we will. Thank you.
Aloha, Mayor.
Aloha, good to see you again.
Yes, I feel like I'm your stalker.
No, you're not a stalker, and I know what you want to talk about. So
thank you. No TROs, beautiful. So I want to bring up what we all are going through and what we're not immune to. So I'm going to touch upon what Jojo was saying. And we are affected by this high cost of living in our state.
Right.
And I guess, like you said, we're that small percentage that is asking for the right to do as a homeowner what we want on our property that we paid.
Okay, we've covered this topic.
Yes. Okay, so the question is...
You're one of the most eloquent people on this subject. I want to give you credit for that. And I know exactly what you're going to say. I promise you, we're going to try to get this resolution done. We don't hold any umbrage at all for you renting out the back room in your house and trying to make ends meet. I understand that. And I said earlier, we don't want you leaving. We don't want you giving up. We want you staying here. It's not more, this is about social equity, it's about dignity. It goes deep with us. I promise you that.
Thank you. I'm glad that you guys said that you're bringing it up and you're pounding to see, working it out.
We're pounding it with a sledgehammer
Love it.
instead of a little tiny hammer, okay?
Yes.
And sometimes that gets a little messy.
Can those that are involved with it be part of that hammer or tool?
Well, I don't know how you could, but we could. Let us find out what we're doing
Okay.
here. I want to sit down and see if we can't get this passed. Honestly, I recognize the high cost of living. We
Yes.
empathize. We want teachers staying. Forget people leave. We want teachers staying. We
Yes.
need our teachers, right? We need
I want
firemen.
the farmers to
we
stay.
need policemen.
I want us to stay.
Right, okay.
I want Donna Punu to stay,
All right, we
even
got it.
though she's weaponizing us and fining us.
Well,
But,
you know, we're going to get it worked out.
Second question, why do we have so many speed bumps? There's, between us and Hauʻula, there's over 20 speed bumps.
Yes.
And I don't see the cows or horses complaining about speeders.
Yeah.
But there is a speed bump every other, it seems like 300 yards. And even in our neighborhood, there's 2 speed bumps I don't know, the fire department, first responders, they have to slow down. It causes them least reaction time to the emergency. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank you for
you're
being
welcome.
here.
So I'll let, so we're going to try to answer that question first, if you don't mind. John, you can take a stab at it, but look, we all know that the state's responsible for doing that, but we don't like to say that at these meetings. We are willing to go to Ed and talk to him about this. This has come up elsewhere. In some other places, they really want speed bumps, but we heard it last year. We've heard it clearly this year. Ironically enough, while we were driving out tonight, there was an ambulance that passed us by going, and I saw them having to slow up as well. So I know exactly what you're saying. John, go ahead.
I think I want to start off with one of the things that the City and County of Honolulu's transportation team has really aligned 100, 1,000, 10,000% with State Department of Transportation is our emphasis on safety. And I think I can look around this room and you can nod or you can agree or disagree, but I'll put this out there. I don't think people are taking the privilege, the responsibility of driving. I don't think they're giving it their full attention. I don't think they're realizing what damage they can do by being distracted, by being overtaxed, by over-rushing, by just being discourteous to each other. And we've seen that by an uptick in what we have a term for that now. It's called traffic violence. But to that point, we've reached a point where, you know, as the city, on city and county roads, we often get a lot of requests for speed humps because we can only do so much with signs. Signs don't slow people down. If they want to speed, they're going to speed. So we have been working with the state to install humps on roads in places on city streets where they make sense, around schools, where we need to slow people down. But that being said, we will work with DOT Director Ed Sniffen and have a discussion about what you've brought up here.
I want to have a real serious discussion with Ed about this and see if we, because I hear everything you're saying, I want to hear what they say, but I also understand this. Because there is a fair amount of frequency. I want to hear from Chief Howe. So who said you want to hear from the fire department? He's the best guy you could possibly hear from. Chief Howe.
Aloha, thank you for the question. The concern has been brought up by our staff in the area, and actually went to the station today and to visit them, and their concerns about how it impacts our response times. We all know we have to slow down. Just speaking to them, they really have to go under 10 miles an hour or the guys in the front is gonna bump around. So I think in like everything in life, there's a balance, right? So I understand the intent of the state to create the speed humps is to prevent accidents and deaths from speeding. But again, it needs to be a balance on, it doesn't negatively impact us on the response side. So we're working with the state DOT to see what we can do. Like I said, we're doing studies here in Kahuku. There's always areas in the North Shore and also on the west side that more speed humps are. We're trying to quantify how much it impacts our response. So we're gonna work with Ed Sniffen on that to address those concerns.
Again, thank you for the question. Ian Santee, Deputy Director of Emergency Services. So again, out of this side, we have the Kahuku ambulance, which is right down the street, that also does traverse, and as the mayor pointed out this afternoon on his way out there, they did see an ambulance showing down. So our vehicles are not as big as the fire departments, but again, it does affect us too. So we do work with everybody to try and ensure that we are able to timely respond to the scene to address the emergencies. We take precautions. Again, safety is important, and traffic accidents is one of our #1 incidents that do happen on the roadways. So again, as everybody else before me spoke, again, having a balance and making sure that we are safe and making sure that there is balance in our responses and being able to address the community needs, that's what we're here for.
Have the stats gone down on accidents because of the speed bumps?
Question is, have the stats gone down? Police department would know that. Stats gone down, sir? Yep. I really like this question, by the way, and I'm throwing these guys off by asking them to come up, but they're the tip of the spear, okay? They're the people that are sworn to protect and serve HPD, but think about when you call 911 or an ambulance is required or there's a fire, right? So,
So the question was, have the stats been affected? Have they gone down? This time, from January to today, we have a total of 25 fatalities on our roadways. Out of those fatalities, 8 are speed. The investigators have determined that speed was a considerable factor. Out of those 25 fatalities, guys, 11 were pedestrians. So that's people that the driver may have not been paying attention, the pedestrian may have been in the roadway at the wrong time. There's a lot of factors that go into what we do on a daily basis. The speed bumps, not a favorite thing, but a speeding citation. I'll take a speed bump any day over a speeding citation. Is that fair? No? Okay. Well, the point is we want people to slow down. We want them to pay attention on the roadways. There's 25 families out there that don't have their loved ones today because so last year, I can give you the numbers for that. Last year at this time, there was 10 fatalities. Okay, well, in this community alone, and just bear with me, the objective to this is safety. Okay, so the DOT is doing everything that they can to slow people down. There's speed cameras across the island. There's red light cameras across the island. There's speed bumps. In this community alone, since the beginning of the year, we've had 4 fatalities. 1 on this side alone. So that was a motorcyclist, 2 were motorcyclists and 2 were pedestrian related. Out of those motorcycles, speed was a contributing factor. That's the information I have. Chief?
So what we owe you is an assessment out here on on Kamehameha Highway. What are the number of accidents or collisions prior to and then today? What is that number? And that would give you an idea of a ratio. Did it impact or did it not? And that's what you're asking is the question. So we owe you that answer, and we'll look into that a little more definitively to get you a better answer to that and see if in fact it is doing any good.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, next question.
Hello.
Hello.
Katie Metzger. I saw you at the Waialua Town Hall.
I remember you.
Hello, everyone, for being here again. We appreciate your coming out and listening. I brought up the fact that we had this petition with 19,000 signatures. You hadn't seen it, you said. So I emailed it to you.
I never got it.
My question is,
I swear to you, but I have to talk to people in front of me.
have you seen it?
No, I haven't. For
Okay, well, I
19,000
emailed
signatures.
it to you. Actually copied Deputy Brian. So
Mike
he
has
acknowledged me.
seen it. Mike has seen it.
You
I've
saw
not
it?
seen it.
Okay, so there's 19,000 signatures
Regarding
asking
what?
for the SCIS. I'm just going to zero in on
Okay,
the Native Hawaiian
thank you.
Yellow Face Bee because it is my kuleana, please.
I understand. Go
Okay.
ahead. I'll be respectful, but we said we'd cover the topic.
No, I know, but we didn't talk about the Native Hawaiian Yellow Face Bee. I'm a beekeeper, work 6 days a week on the North Shore with 4 apiaries. And I am here really to support regenerative agriculture. I appreciate Keel and what's being done on the North Shore to keep it country, to keep it whole. We have this little bee here, and it's going to be gone, and it's going to be gone on our dime if we don't do something about it. So I'm only bringing up the Native Hawaiian Yellow-Faced Bee. We haven't talked about it. We have 19,000 signatures, right, that are asking for a new SEIS. And the point is, it's endangered. It is the law to keep it, to not break the law, right? So it's not, I'm just asking for us to follow the law, which is to protect that endangered species. And to do that, we need an SEIS. And if we're not going to do that, then I don't want to say you're breaking the law, but come on.
I can
Like,
promise
are
you
you
we're not
breaking the
breaking
law if
I
you
can
don't
promise
do
you we're
the
not breaking the
SCIs?
law, no.
Okay, well,
But
let me.
I'll tell you what, we'll look into it. I want your personal contact information.
I emailed you. You got it.
It didn't come to me.
It did.
There's people who intercept my emails. I'll give you my.
Brian, I copied
I'll
you
get
on
it.
it.
I'll get it from Mike. Is your name? Is her name on it?
I want
I
to
will
work with you.
contact you on this.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Hello, my name's Duke.
Which name's Duke?
Yeah.
Hi, Duke.
The state government mandates 100% green energy in 20 years. The city government just voted to rip out $1 billion worth of infrastructure that mandates the removal of the green energy. Can you square that for me?
Well, I wish I knew what you were talking about. Ben, do you know what he's talking about?
Yeah, the windmills right here have been mandated to be removed. It's in law. You signed the bill. It's in law that these windmills disappear, and the state government saying, we got a mandate of 20 years, you got to be 100% green. Will you guys pick a side and figure it out?
Okay, Duke, we'll do that. Go ahead, Ben.
Ben Sullivan, Office of Climate Change, Sustainability, Resiliency. So, like a lot of issues tonight, right, there is not one or another answer. We're talking about a goal that is very important to all of us, right? It is about reducing carbon emissions, but it's not something that we address without thinking about cost of living, as an example. When you're talking about wind, it's one of many components that we have to try to deliver to get to our goal of 100% renewable energy, and it's not at all costs. It's balancing with all the other things we have to do. So what you're referring to, sir, is a process that went through actually the Department of Planning and Permitting to establish appropriate setbacks. And so after these contractual terms are over, there may be difficulties in terms of renewing them, and that's part of the process. So we will continue to seek other renewable energy sources, and we'll continue to move towards those goals. And that's what we have to do. We all have to work together to achieve that. So appreciate your concerns, but
The same bill just kneecapped every solar farm on this island. You just made a law that, in that law, it says you've got to be 150 feet from the property line. There isn't a solar farm on this island that has that kind of space. So you've only done away with these windmills. You've done away with every solar farm that I'm aware of, and I mow a lot of them. You've done away with them too. Whether you knew you did it or not, those solar farms are gone at the end of their term because there's not enough space between what you're mandating as a setback and the property line.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I think that the setbacks that you're talking about are for the windmills, not solar. So solar farms are treated differently. Those will not be affected by the legislation that required certain setbacks for the windmills.
No, it's in the bill. It's in the same bill. There's a little paragraph in there dealing with solar farms, and the new setback is 150 feet from the property line of any solar panel.
That's not our understanding. That's not how we would read the law. That's not how we would enforce it.
Well, it's what's in the bill, because I read the bill, and it pushes the solar panels maximum of 150 feet from the property line.
Okay,
and right now, they're about 15 feet from the property line.
I'll give you my information, and we can clear that up together.
I'll show you where it's in the bill.
Okay.
So, Mr. Mayor, you had mentioned that you
What's your name?
Oh, Linnell.
Hi, Linnell.
Linnell DeMatre. You know who I am. Anyway, you said you would have a conversation with DOE Director Keith Hayashi.
I will.
Okay. So I just wanted to make, so you will. So that's my first
No, I
question.
will. I promise I will.
Okay, so
In
that's
fact,
my-
Mike said he just contacted us, we need some help, and we've collaborated with the DOE on a lot of things, on bus services and a lot of different things, so, yeah.
Yeah, so I am in complete support of our ranchers and farmers. Our kids at our public schools, you guys should come out here and eat lunch one day and see that really emphasize with Mr. Hayashi that we are surrounded by farms. Why are our children still getting their fruits and vegetables out of a plastic bag from Colorado, wherever they're coming from?
I don't know, but we'll talk to him about it.
So when you have this sit down with him,
Sure.
yeah, make it really clear. According to a gentleman here, he's tried that with DOE, and they put up so many barricades for him to move forward. It would be really nice if our kids could eat meat that looks like meat and not mystery meat.
Okay.
You know what
All right,
I'm
I get it,
saying?
Linnell, I promise you.
Okay, so that's one, okay? That's one conversation with Director Hayashi. So what Penny was saying about the facilities, so I work here, so I do know what's going on firsthand, observed. I'm a trained observer. I've worked in the system for 30 years. So she's right. None of the bathrooms work on the second floor. The bathrooms on the second floor are basically used for storage. So if any of our kids, special needs, regular kids, they have an accident, they really gotta go,
Okay.
they gotta hustle.
All right.
So what's new with DOE is that they cannot hire a private contractor to fix anything on the campus anymore. We have to wait in line for DOE people to come out and fix.
Okay.
So
Well-
there's something kind of screwy with that because we cannot wait. We
I
cannot
understand,
wait.
but in order to best serve this audience, I want to talk about the things we have direct control on. I promise you we'll talk to Keith about that.
Yeah, talk.
I hear that, I promise you.
Okay, and then sniffing, who will hump anything. That seems to be the new
Well,
sticker.
you know, I
That
can't
would-
promise any reduction, but we'll have the conversation with them and we'll report back on what they said, because I would tell you, they've probably done it scientifically for good reason and so on and so forth. I understand, but we'll find out.
My question is, what is DOT and people here that are in the climate change people?
Yeah.
Ms. Fox and you, so what are they doing to address the erosion? We are so good at reacting to a disaster. What are we going to do to be proactive? I have a suggestion. I've been bringing it up for years now. Use our own resources, Mr. Mayor. Go to the College of Engineering at UH. They can come out, do a survey. They can plan. They can put these little structures in the water serving three purposes. It'll absorb the impact of the waves, provide a habitat for marine life, and you can start to grow more coral. But I suggest, I've been throwing that out forever. I mean, because these kids, that's how they can earn their grades. Come up with the best plan, the city and county, you
Okay.
change, yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. It's just
All right.
that it's been going on for a while. We need to actually see somebody on the shoreline, you know, doing something with their little machines.
All right.
But you know what I'm saying,
Yes,
right?
we do, Linnell.
We got to move. Look how many people, look at all these brains over here. Let's see a little more action.
One minute. Why don't you tell them what we're doing with the Vitality Project? You know, some of the stuff, I'm hesitant to say anything because you're really addressing state issues. And I said earlier, we hate saying it. We've come here to try to serve you and what we can control. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for the question. Just to touch on one of the projects that we have going on, working with the Army Corps. Oh, sorry, I'm Haku Millis. I'm the director for the Department of Design and Construction. We, once again, kind of oversee the major construction projects for various city agencies, and that includes drainage projects. One of the things that we are tasked with is coordinating and working with the Army Corps on significant community projects that they have going on. One of them is the Wailele Stream project that was proposed originally by the community. And so this administration has decided to significantly support that project. We've been coordinating with them to make sure that that is moving forward. There is significant work being done by the Corps right now in the form of feasibility study. The city was able to put money in order to support that work. And so there are various projects across the island that we are working with on the Corps. This is just one example of how we're trying to do what we can to avoid and improve flooding situations, including in this community. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe this doesn't belong here, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. Maybe you guys can help us in the community from for all of our kids, for all of our athletes. You know, my question is, how can any of you help us get our coach back, our football coach back to Kahuku High School? We are here, most of us are wondering what happened, what's going on. Maybe you guys can help us. We are very proud of our coach. We don't know and understand what is a hostile environment, but these are some of the questions that haven't been answered yet.
I think regrettably, we cannot, but I sympathize with you because I know he's a hell of a football coach.
But we thought we'd bring it up because that's part of what right now is in our community.
Yeah.
Ta, 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 ta. In O Kahuku stands our alma mater, where the salt wind blow day after day, with her doors flung wide for her sons and daughters, while the flag of freedom waves above. Hail Kahuku, hail our alma mater, hail to our colors red and white. We'll cherish, love, and honor thee. Oh, hail Kahuku, hail. Mayor, we just want to thank you for letting us at least bring it up in the town hall meeting. Mahalo.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. I'm just going to say this. I think I love you. I want you to know how much I appreciate. You've asked 2 questions tonight about the pool for the kids and a coach for the team. And I don't know how much more heart you could demonstrate just in those 2 questions about your concern. And that was spectacular. In 26 town halls, nobody's ever sang the school song. That is a first. It speaks to Kahuku pride. It speaks to Kahuku pride. It was great. All right, young lady, then, okay, all right. No, you go.
Thank you, Mayor, especially for bringing attention to our pool, and we just wanted to thank you so much for the track and field that we have outside. My name is Jade. I'm a 2nd grade teacher at Hauʻula Elementary. I have lived on the North Shore my entire life. I have recently been awarded the Melkin Teacher of Promise for our Castle Kahuku area. I also am part of the USA Track and Field Association Board, and I have helped out with our track and field here in Koʻolelo. Tonight, I just wanted to ask a few questions. We are a grassroots, community-based youth track program for the past 3 years, and we either been denied or had a very, very hard time going through the process to gaining access to our facilities for track and field here in the community.
What facilities do you have?
We have our grass parks.
Okay, oh, your grass parks, okay.
We're practicing on our grass roots.
Okay, all right.
And so we've submitted proper paperwork, we've gone through the process, we went online, and we've done everything. We have paperwork in place to put forward for the track and facilities here. When the school admin was brought to the attention to the school admin, there just wasn't any support or urgency for us to gain access. And so all we're asking tonight is maybe if we can gain some help from you.
Boy, it's going to be a long conversation with Keith Hayashi.
Yes,
I'm going to tell him, sit down and take out a notepad. Look, I love the fact you're so concerned about the school. I wish it was Akuliana, but we'll try to help. Okay, I promise you.
Thank you. Yeah, so we just wanted to ask, like, how can the public and the students, like, gain better access to facilities, especially because you know how our community is with the children, how we're trying to make more childcare and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
How are students supposed to grow and succeed in sports, arts, or other enrichment programs if they don't even have access to practice space or even classrooms? What kind of message are we sending when we invest in programs but deny them the space to operate? And the last question, can the DOE or city enforce a policy that ensures fair and consistent access to school facilities for all after-school programs that serve?
Okay, so what Mike said, and I think I understand where you're coming from, is that our parks, the 306 parks we have on this island, are virtually full all the time. One of the things that we've learned from all the town halls, every district is different. Okay? There are certain common denominators. How people play, where they recreate, is across the board. Everybody, it matters to them. Since our parks are really widely used, and that's great, we're proud of them, we're trying to make them better. We have the land, which I thought we were supposed to, we have to get the DOE to allow those lands to be used to extend parks, if you will. And that, I think that's the question we could put to them. And that's what Mike is, and we'll follow up with that, okay? Look, I'll say this. A long time ago, I was in high school. Long time ago. 1960 to 64. I wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't for sports, okay? I understand the impact and how it can change a young person's life, boy or girl. And so stuff like this is very, very important. And we're not being cavalier about telling you. It's just, we'll see what we can get done on that, all right? I admire you for doing all you're doing. I really do.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Aloha, thank you. This is not as an emotional question, but I've got hundreds of chickens and lots of fruit, and I love this community tonight. But my biggest question is almost, why is it so expensive to register our cars here? I've got two students here. I've got my trucks. I mean, it is literally $2,500 a year just for the privilege that you said to drive on these streets. Over the next 10 years, that's $20,000.
Wow.
For me as a father to have the gift.
No, you don't pay $20,000 a year.
No, $20,000 over the next 10 years.
Over the next 10 years, yeah. So we have an answer for that. Yeah, but I have to tell you, I want to see when you ask an emotional question, if that's not an emotional question. Because that's, I get it. We get asked this a lot.
Because when we have heavy cars up here, and they hit those speed bumps hard.
I know.
My F-350 is not a light vehicle.
Hello, I'm Megan Johnson. I'm with the Department of Customer Services. Thank you for your question. So I will try to just provide some facts, and if there's more specific information to your situation, I'm happy to follow up with you directly. But yes, we get this question a lot. So I'm gonna just try to provide just a breakdown of the registration fees, where the money's apportioned between the city and the state. So just roughly 70% of the registration fees that you're paying goes to the city and county of Honolulu. The other 30% goes to the state of Hawaii. This is just for our standard plate. So for those of you who have a personalized plate or one of the beautiful Polynesian Voyaging Society or National Parks plates, this is different. But this is just for just a standard vehicle. So state registration fee, $46 a year per vehicle, that's just flat. The county registration fee, $20 per vehicle. And then there's a state weight tax and a county weight tax. They both vary, so I'll get into that in a minute. And then highway beautification fee, $7. And then what we call an emblem, but the little tiny rectangular sticker that's on your license plate, 50 cents. And then the initial plate, like the actual license plate, when you first register your car, $5. So as an example, I'm not sure what the weight of your vehicle is, but for a vehicle weighing about 3,320 pounds, so this is just a mid-sized vehicle, would cost approximately $360 to register. Of that, the city will get about $230 from the weight tax, the $20 registration fee, 50 cents for that sticker, and then the state will get $58 from the weight tax, $46 registration fee, and $7. So it does, owning a car, there is an expense to that. It is, something that we need to all contributes to maintaining the roadways and, you know, just keeping things safe.
Who sets, Megan, who sets the weight tax?
There's both state and city, there's city ordinances and state statutes that set the rates for the weight tax.
And that's where the bulk of it is on the weight tax.
So you're saying that, because I've read somewhere where it costs about $300,000 for each of those speed bumps. Yeah. All the money that I'm paying, $2,500 a year to register my car, goes to pay for the speed bumps. Is that where it's going? Is that?
No.
I don't believe that that's completely accurate.
I don't know if that's the number. I really don't, if it's 300,000, but it goes to paving roads. Paving roads.
And how many of you guys have trucks in here that weigh 3,000 pounds?
We get it.
My truck weighs about 9,000 pounds. Yeah, each of my cars weighs a lot more than that just because we have, and our roads up here, like you go around Waimea, it is. It's great
all right.
after the speed
all right.
bumps. But so
you know,
there's nothing we can do to kind of reduce that?
I don't believe there's much we can do about that. It's been going on for a long time, sir. That's, all right. Did you have a question? Oh, Dottie, okay.
We have a line up here, Mayor. Okay. Thank you. I have a question. I want to welcome your new Department of Emergency Management Director. And please stand up. We want to invite you to come out and talk with us. We want to invite you to be involved with our communities. We are a community that is at risk in disasters. You know that from driving out here. We have a road that's a disaster, and we have problems with power, water, and food when these roads are closed. The road, my question is, are you going to come work with us as communities? We would like that very much. And we'd like for you to actually join us on a variety of get-togethers where we talk. We have a Cross-Island Community Resilience Network that we want you involved with. There's a lot you can do. We are so siloed right now. Our policemen, our firemen, they're our first responders, but we can't even talk to them about emergency and what's going to happen when we have that emergency, and we're cut off. So I really welcome you to help us out and work with us, because we know you can't do it without communities. We don't even have a shelter out here, nothing to protect people. And so many people will have to evacuate from their homes, so we need your help. And we welcome you here. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that welcome. Absolutely happy to come out and talk with you, speak with you. Certainly I want to get out here and understand the situation that you're talking about and see firsthand what the risk is and what the hazards are, and work with the community to find out what the solutions are. And was even just talking to the mayor earlier today. It's not just about the Department of Emergency Management, but it's about the whole of community and getting the community involved along with our team here to coordinate, as you said, and find those solutions. So absolutely, I'm going to be out here and talking with you, and we'll make sure that we get that scheduled.
Let me just tell you something about Randy. I don't want to embarrass him. We just got him sworn in today in my office at 3 o'clock, okay? And I could talk at length about every single man and woman up here, and even the ones that are on here tonight. That's how proud I am of this group because of their commitment. Dr. Randy Collins was in Saudi Arabia. We got lucky. We hired him. He was going to come back to the U.S. He'd been in this business in major cities in California. His pedigree is impeccable. He's a former Marine, former rugby player, high integrity. You would wish if somebody called and asked you for references, you would hear the things we heard about Randy. We got lucky. It's his first day. He came out to Kahuku tonight. Dottie, I know you hold the bar real high. You were actually in a discussion when we were trying to recruit him on a Zoom call while he was in Saudi Arabia. So I promise you, if he says he's going to come see you, he'll be there. Okay? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. Yes.
My name is Maddie Mozo. I'm in 5th grade, and one thing I want is better school lunches. They will give us mac and cheese, and we will flip the plate over, and it will stick on the plate. They'll give us like stew or something, and it will look like.
Did you hear she said they have mac and cheese at the school lunches? You could turn the plate upside down, it sticks on the plate. Yeah, okay,
it tastes
Maddie,
like
so
rubber.
Maddie, what is your question? Because I don't know what we can do about that, but what was your question?
Just better lunches.
Better lunches. Okay. Well, okay. Well, I tell you, I think next year we bring Keith Hayashi here with us. We'll tell him it's a bit of a homecoming. I'm going to say this crowd sang the school song, man. You got to show up. But I promise we'll have that. Well, I don't know what we can do, but I hear you on that. And honestly, as a dad who raised 3 kids and now a bunch of grandkids, I wouldn't want my child having to go to school with mac and cheese. And you got to try. I wouldn't want that to happen to any of them. I don't want that to happen to you either. I promise you that. Okay, Maddie, thank you. Evelyn, you're back up.
Hi. A calmer version of me, and I apologize to all of you for my heated request, but I just want to, I had asked this question for the last year, and I've not been able to get anybody to respond to me,
Okay.
so I apologize to you all and to you all. But I really want to talk about Kahuku Town and my neighborhood, the Kahuku Senior Housing. And I want to thank the mayor's office for coming out last September to visit us when I said you own it last year, our community property. I'm not sure if you're aware that we had a HUD inspection last week and it was canceled, and nobody from HUD came to our managers, no one called, no one rescheduled, they never heard a word. So I want to let you know about that, since I'm sure these
I'm
are
disappointed
things
to hear that. I really am.
it is very disappointing. And
Edward, are you aware of that? Yeah, because Edward deals with HUD, okay?
thank you. So then we're really happy to hear that we have a fire break coming, but I heard it was going to be like, it should have already happened. So I'm hoping it's going to happen soon. And because my car doesn't work anymore, I've been forced to enjoy the community on foot, which I have enjoyed very, very much. But one of the things, and this has happened since you've become our mayor, partly because of the pandemic, but after the pandemic was over, the Kahuku Town Business District has just boomed. It's like the new Haleiwa. And we're happy that we have all these businesses, but we're very concerned about the unregulated activities that are going on over there that could cause emergency disasters, like an industrial accident. And thank you for being here. I'm very happy. I will tell you, I hope Dottie won't be embarrassed, but I'm partnering with her in Kahuku to create an emergency management plan for our Kahuku town, and we really need your help. We need your help with infrastructure. We have roads that have been neglected. All the property that is bordering and around our community and up to the sugar mill is owned by the city. And it hasn't been taken care of. I mean, it hasn't been mowed, it hasn't been cut. The roads are, we don't know where the roads are anymore. And we really need to have, we have all these derelict cars. We have people who are dumping coconuts along the trees. We have unregulated laboratories that are not up off the ground. We have wires that are running all over the place and they fray. We're gonna have electrocutions. And I don't think that it's fair that our business people are not getting the support that they need so that we can also become part of the business community.
Okay.
At the same time, remember, it's business community, not business tourist district.
Right, understand that.
Okay?
Thank you,
And
Evelyn.
with Turtle Bay coming,
Well,
that's really impacting us too.
Right, that's a long list. Like I said tonight, we came out here to learn from you as well and to hear. We're not going to be able to remedy all of that, but we can certainly turn our attention and see what we can get done. And I certainly appreciate what you had to say. We only have a couple of minutes left. Sir, you're up. Go ahead. Let me just see what we have 6 minutes left.
Aloha, aloha, Kahuku. Thank you for having me here. I came here to support the beef people, feeding our people, housing our people, the things we're struggling with right now. My name is Jason Hanley. I own Waiʻula. Was one time the largest medical cannabis co-op in the North Shore in Waiʻula that was raided by Homeland Security over 2 years ago. I'm not here to, I just had questions for you, Mayor, because I think Mayor and Chief, you guys are very, very instrumental on how this cannabis policy moves forward, although I don't think you know it. The first question I just have is, do you support medical marijuana?
I have supported medical marijuana.
Great.
We also took a very strong stance against recreational marijuana.
Understood, and I would agree with you on that as well, that we took a strong stand against recreational cannabis as well. What we're seeing right now, though, is the legislature's not listening to common sense medical cannabis bills right now, and they're ignoring us, and the dispensaries are running the show with their lobbying. Right now, there's actually a bill right now, HB 302, that's going to give the Attorney General power to go after people who don't have dispensary licenses, and that includes medical cannabis people, to charge them with a Class C felony charge.
Okay. Stick around. I want to talk to you and get some information from you right after this thing ends at 9 o'clock.
Great, thank you.
Okay, because I don't have an answer. I want to learn more about that.
Understood.
I wasn't aware of that.
Thank you.
We're going to finish up with Dr. Dan Kehoe from North Shore Medical Group. Is that the official title, Dr. Kehoe?
I think I know many of you in the room here. I'm the doctor that has been working at Kahuku Hospital for decades, also been involved in the schools, so I'm very pleased to be with all my neighbors tonight. I just wanted to stand up. I really don't have a question for the mayor, so that's why I'm facing you. So thank you for being here, but I want to testify to you, this mayor is different. I've been out here for 33 years. I've seen mayors come and go, plenty of them. This fella has been able to arrange through Deputy Ian Santee a refuge center for people who come out of the hospital and have no place to live, no place to go. He's arranged accommodations that people can be picked up in a van and taken down to a hospital at no cost to them. So I just wanted to testify to you, this is different. He's seen things that aren't good, and he's gone and done something about it, and it's working. We've been able to take care of patients. So again, I don't have a question. I'm not angry about anything. I understand all the conflicts that go on. And Dan, that was very kind of you. Thank you. I just want to let you know, I'm proud to be with you. My wife, you know, was a coach out here for 8 years, and all my kids are Red Raiders.
All right, thank you. All right, last question then. Thank you, Dan. That was very kind of you. Thank you. Ma'am, you got the last question of the evening.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. I wanted to say that I'm a fur baby's mom, and my daughter is a fur baby's mom too. We have to travel to Kaneohe to go to the fur baby doggy park, or we have to go to Mililani doggy park. Okay. So I'm asking, could we have a doggy park in our community?
We have good news for you. Ted, take it away. There's a lot. Look, I have a dog too. All right, so I can tell you it's challenging, right? Go ahead, Ted. This is good.
Thank you. We definitely get that question a lot, and we don't have a lot of off-leash dog parks. But one of the initiatives that we are doing, just got announced last week, was that we are trying to go out and make our parks more pet-friendly. So that is one thing we are doing. So go to your neighborhood boards. They all got a list of kind of all the parks in the area, and so they will be kind of taking all of your information, getting feedback from the community on what parks do you all want to have as on-leash dog parks. And so we are trying to get that going. It's a little more complicated to get off-leash dog parks, but we are looking at those too.
Okay. Because I take my doggy up over here, and the parks people are telling us, get off, you're not supposed to be bringing your dog over there. So we take our dog off as soon as they go home, and we bring our dog back. I got Shih Tzus, so
we have heard that a lot.
Yeah. We're going to get, actually, we're going to have a lot more. We actually are going to have a lot more. I'm pretty convinced. We know we need to do that. I mean, more and more people. Look, I just want to close the evening. I want to thank you. First of all, I want to thank all of you for being here again. Kelly, Dottie Kelly, Paddock, don't forget May 23rd, her day. The whole month is you. You're a great community. Thank you so much for being here. God bless.